Hey guys, it's Novice here, and I've already made a few videos claiming that I like music, and that is true. The statement still stands. There is a genre of music that is really close to my heart currently, and it starts off 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, I was watching this anime series called The Rising of the Shield Hero. I was like watching some explained videos, you know how you do when you're bored, and a video popped up on my feed and it was for a song about this anime, and I was like, that's interesting, that's different. Mind you, at this time I've only been listening to like your mainstream music, a little bit of Metallica, some Eminem, and whoever else was popular 5 years ago. Right, so I listened to this song and I really enjoyed it, right? And it got me down this rabbit hole, right? And for those of you who are curious, the song, it's The Rising of the Shield Hero by None Like Joshua. It's like posted 5 years ago. All around decent song. It's kind of campy, but in a good way. And, coming up on the realization I've been listening to this for 5 years, I've made a list of my favorite Nerdcore artists. Because that's what that song was ultimately. It was, my first intro to Nerdcore, right? And so Nerdcore, it's kind of dear to my heart, and I got the 10 artists who shine through like all the most, right? It's my own personal top 10 list, like from four all the way to number one. It can go either way depending on my mood, right? And I'd like to kick off the list by coming on to some honorary mentions. And the first honorary mention is this artist named Ty Wild. And Ty Wild claims he's not a nerdcore artist, right? But the dude's been on like 60 different tracks on a nerdcore song. Like, dude has more features than actual songs on his music, on his YouTube page. And it is, his songs are fire. His verses on these like one-off songs that he does every once in a while, also very fire. Right? And that's our first honorable mention. And the second one, I'd like to give a shout out to Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse is mostly a streamer. She doesn't really write her own music, but she has a great voice. I think other nerdcore artists write and produce her tracks, and she just does it for herself. And it's still pretty good. Her last one, Time to Feast, pretty good. Right. And so I just want to kick this list off with my number 10 pick, and that is McGuire. Now, the first time I heard McGuire, I think it was like 4 years ago. It was on a reaction video to his song, right? And it's my favorite song of his is also the first song I've heard, and it's Superhero. It's a Goku song, and he remastered it a while back, and both of them are pretty good. And for being the first song I've heard of this guy, and it still being my favorite, it kind of shows how good the song is. If I can still listen to it now and be like, man, this is still as good as it was back when I first listened to it, and it's kind of hard to do. A lot of songs lose their shine, and over the years, Nerdcore has taken a few turns and twists and, delved off into some unique ways of expressing it. Like with my number 9 pick, my ninth favorite is Peso Pete. And I think the first time I heard a Peso Pete verse was, honestly, I think he just kind of appeared in a song I don't remember. It was like 3 years ago when I started listening to his music, and he came out with a song a while ago called Your Mom the Musical. That's my favorite Peso Pete song, solely because of the name of that song. My God. Like, you gonna have a song like, oh, only the strongest survive, 1, 2, 3, and 4, but sleep on the song that's called Your Mom the Musical? Straight awesome. Straight fire. Right? And my number 7 pick is all the way from across the pond, was Schwabity. Uh, don't ask me how to pronounce it. I think that's the way. Just don't ask me how to spell it either, because autocorrect and Google Translate are abhorrent when it comes to this name. And I heard Schwabity back in Rustage Cipher. I think it was the Class 1A Cipher, and his voice kind of stuck out to me. So I listened to a lot of songs, and I was like, wow, this guy is very British. You can hear it. Like, he has that gravelly tone in his voice. And it's kind of weird. Uh, but you get used to it and you start liking it, and he becomes way more British throughout the years. I think my favorite song from him is "Look Like Death," and it's based off of Death the Kid. The chorus goes so hard, but he sits there and has a bunch of like dope one-off lines. It's just, it's one of the better songs that he has. And like I said, I think it's my favorite one that he actually does have on his channel. He has that Black Star one, which is also fire, but I think Look Like Death is just a little bit better. And my number 7 pick is Ham Sandwich's song called Tomboy Tuesday. But before we get into that, I heard Ham Sandwich in I think the first time was a Rustage song called Isekai Cypher. And he played these people from this anime called No Game No Life. And honestly, I was like, who is this dude? Sounded all proper. And then slowly started getting into his music, and slowly started realizing, yeah, I understand why he was this character, and my goodness, this dude does not care, and I am 100% here for it. Like his song Tomboy Tuesday, I go out of my way every Tuesday to play this song to get myself hyped up for my favorite type of woman, a tomboy, right? Because that chorus goes nutty. I'm not gonna say what's in the song, because you know what? I feel like I do it a disservice, right? And that's the hip hop side of it, right? But nerdcore is a genre, and the genre has subgenres. So there is, singing, there's rapping, and then there's number 6, and that is divide music. And divide music is almost like a metal rock type fusion nerdcore artist. He does occasionally have some singing parts, but the first time I heard him was in the Shonen Jump Cipher by Rustage. Honestly, just be giving all the dubs to Rustage for putting me onto all these people. Right, divide music. The first time I heard him, I think he was Deku, right? In the Shonen Jump Cipher. I was like, who's this guy singing in a rap cipher? So I go to listen to some of his songs. And now I'm just there. Every song that he drops is certified. It's just a certified banger. Like, my favorite song that he has is Death in the Family. And it's a Red Hood song, and you could just feel like the emotion of someone who's betrayed. And damn well, he might have been talking about himself. Like, I don't know much about this guy. All I know is all his music is great. And keeping along the same genre of music, I got my number 5 pick. It's Fable, spelled Fabvl. Because my God, if you put this into an Alexa, she will not know what you're talking about. I think the first time I've heard of Fable was all the way back when this song called YouTube Cypher Volume 1 dropped, and Fable was rapping on it. And I know he does kind of rap sometimes, but he mostly does like how Divide does. I mean, I think Divide and Fable were, friends in high school. So they're, in the same genre of music, right? So Fable over the years has done like a lot of, oh, I can rap better than your favorite rapper, and I'm not even a rapper. And I enjoy a lot of his more metal songs, like the song Break My Heart Again. And it's based off of Dobby. It's basically his FU to Endeavor. And the song is like, first time I heard it, I was like, wow, this makes me feel things. And it's like, I know a lot of people grow up and they wish they can say some half the things this man says in the song to their dad. And for that reason, Fable is at number 5. And the guy who always, this is like my one of my top listen to people, right? Like this dude always does collabs with Fable, like at least once a month, and every time they're just straight certifiable bangers. And it's Dizzy 8. And again, the first time I heard Dizzy 8 was in YouTube Cypher Volume 1. And I listened to it, re-listened to it, and I was like, yo, that is hella good. Like, who is this Dizzy 8 guy? Right? And I was gonna say, like, he had a song here and there that I was like, oh wow, I really enjoy this. Like his No Fear song featuring Zach B was like one of my favorite. And then he dropped a song with his brother. And the song is called Do It Now, Why Wait? And I listened to the song, and you can thank this song for the reason why you're hearing my voice. Because I heard this song, I was like, I guess I'll start making my voice known on YouTube, start doing what I want to. And you can thank this song because I hear it and it's like the anti-procrastination song. It touches you in ways that it shouldn't be, right? It's just, he has a way with words. And another guy who has a way with words is my number 3 pick, and it's Zach B, right? Now, Zach B, the first time I heard him was also on a Rustage cipher. My god, this dude be putting people up, right? Big dubs to Rustage. Zach B, I never really paid much attention to him until like a year ago. Right, and I was listening to one of his songs. I was like, wow, I really like it. I think it was the Call Me Can't Communicate song, right? I was like, wow, I'm gonna listen to more songs and more songs and more songs. So eventually, I come across 2 songs, and I can't tell which one I would actually like and prefer more. Because the first one I, really latched onto after going through all his music recently was Talk to You from Bochi the Rock, or inspired from Bochi the Rock. For me, I've never seen it, right? It's like a cute girls doing cute things, right? With music involved. And I'm hearing Zach just, write some of the most heartfelt words into the song about an anime I've never seen. And for the first time, a Nerdcore song made me want to go watch the anime. I still haven't. It's in my to-watch list, but there's so many shows I'm watching this season, it's not even gonna be watched like this year. But I'll get to it mostly because of this song, and I want to know why he decided to come out with this absolute masterpiece of a song. And the second song that I couldn't, decide whether or not I wanted to have this one over that one was the one that came out a few years ago. Is Diego rap, which is Mob Psycho 100, Heart and Soul. And from the moment that instrumental kicks in, and then you hear the intro of my heart and soul were never mine alone, but you cared it I for. It sends shivers down my spine. And then he's just talking to you. Like, yeah, it's like he's rhyming, like he's doing all these intricate raps. But he's just like talking to you, like you can feel like he's the guy. You can feel like he's speaking as Mob. Like he can do this. And it's such a beautiful and empowering song. that it's just like chef's kiss. And speaking of chef's kiss, I got my number two spot, right? For those of you who know, you know, Nerdcore, you're thinking to yourself, wow, I haven't heard his name come up once. And that's for, and that's for something, right? This man doesn't need, the build up. He is just that guy, right? And my number two pick is a controversial placement, but when you see and hear my reasons for number one, you'll understand. And my number two pick is Daddy Fat Snaps. Daddy Fat Snaps, over the course of a few years, I've listened to off and on. I think one of my favorite songs that he made was his Koro Sensei song. Really good. I just finished watching it for the anime for like the third time. So I listened to the song. I was like, he really embodied it. But I understand it's it's old, right? And I listened to his original Luffy one, the one with dreaded Yasuke. It was really good. And he even responded to one of my comments, and I really enjoyed that. Right? But over the years, his writing style changed. He got people on the hooks, the choruses that just built on what he was saying. And one of the songs that really resonated me was back when Arcane was showing on Netflix, when it was fresh out, right? Daddy Fat Snaps teamed up with, I think, Golden EMP. I might be wrong about that, but the song is called The Undercity, right? And it's all based off of Victor, one of the characters in the show who, he's been beaten down all his life, and he finally gets a chance to do something, and then that gets taken. And Daddy Fat Snaps is just speaking in his perspective. And if you don't know a lot of things, it's just a powerful song in a vacuum. And even one of his most recent songs, his Darth Vader song that he made in tribute to the guy who voiced Darth Vader. I'm blanking right now. The song is so good. He embodies what Darth Vader is. Great person. And y'all might be wondering who my number one pick is. And he is the greatest nerdcore artist of all time. He's the one who, he's the voice behind Usopp in the Straw Hat Cipher, Mineta in the Class 1A Cipher, Jojo in None Like Joshua's JoJo's Cipher, and that is Nux Taku. I'm just joking. My number one pick is the gingerbread man, but no gingerbread, Rustage. Rustage is the guy who kept me in nerdcore, right? He kept me listening to all the nerdcore artists, right? None Like Joshua introduced me. He opened the door, but Rustage led. He guided me through it. I wouldn't know all these other people besides a few of them here and there without Rustage. And Rustage has really good albums. Throughout the 5 years I've been listening to him. It's this purple artwork that he has with his face. I'll probably put a picture on the screen. But he has two songs from that album that are my favorite Rustage songs of all time. And he might not agree with them, but I certainly would. And the first song is Pineapple Juice. And it's a goofy little song about, if you can be passionate about making a song about a beverage, it just feels okay. It feels right with the world. He made a song about pistachio. And that's also really good, but it doesn't beat the other, one tied for number one. And it's Outside the Airlock. Outside the Airlock is one of the first songs that, gravitated me towards Rustage, the original one. And then he redid it for this album. And it's a really, cheery and upbeat song. You don't have to have major bars or anything for me to be in trends, or what's the word? and captivated by it. You can just do straight vibes. Like, the song is so good that when Rustage hit a million subscribers, Schwabity got most of Rustage's friends to do a cover of the song and send it to him, like as a like a congratulatory present. And it is one of the most wholesome things in the world because they're singing along to his lyrics. Like I think most of the people that listed on the song, I mean on this list, were involved in that song one way or another, and it is just, it's one of those things that makes you think, wow, there is still good in this world. And that is my top 10 picks for my personal nerdcore artists that, they are some of my favorite things to listen to every week. Like, Rustage and DPS ended up switching to bi-weekly, or whenever. I think they now have a set schedule that's like 3, maybe a month or something like that. And I respect it. I honestly can't be happier because you know what? Instead of doing the weekly thing, they, dialed it back, and now they're putting out music that they actually like. I think they had problems with the music that they had before, and now they're putting out music that, they actually can jive with, and I enjoy it. Right, so that's really what I wanted to talk about today. Those are my top 10 picks. I will ask that y'all like, comment, and subscribe if y'all like this. And if y'all have any more topics y'all like me to talk about, just leave them, down below. Thank you, and